Welcome to English Every Day, your daily dose of English learning, fun conversations, and practical tips to take your language skills to the next level.
Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive with some pretty incredible stories.
Yeah, this should be good.
Yeah, we're exploring this Listverse article. It's called 10 Inspiring Stories of People Who Overcame Adversity.
Oh, wow.
I don't know about you, but I find myself needing a good dose of inspiration these days.
Me too. Sometimes you just need that little extra push.
Yeah, and these stories, they really are about resilience and kind of the power of the human spirit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what's so fascinating about these stories is that they really give you a look into how people not just survive, but how they use hardship to achieve extraordinary things.
Right, and so, okay, let's dive right in with Nick Vujicic. So born without arms or legs.
Wow.
Could have easily given in to despair, right?
Yeah.
But he learned to surf.
Okay, no, hold on.
Now, I've tried surfing, and it's hard enough with arms and legs.
Oh,
How did he even begin to adapt the techniques to
Yeah.
make that work?
I think that's such a great question, and it really highlights how he had to totally rethink the approach. He used his chest and shoulders for balance. He developed incredible core strength and even modified the surfboard itself
Wow.
for stability. And it's just amazing, the testament to problem solving, to adaptability.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to let physical limitations define him or his boundaries.
No, and it makes you think, like how many times we say, oh, I can't do that.
Right.
But really, is it can't, or is it how can I adapt and find a way?
Exactly. It's all about perspective.
Right.
Now let's move on to Malala Yousafzai, who was shot by the Taliban at just 15 years old
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
for speaking out about girls' education. I can't even imagine the fear.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, but what's really remarkable is that she wasn't silenced.
No, not at all.
And she actually used that attack to amplify her message.
Exactly.
It became this global rallying cry for girls' education.
And it's such a powerful example of how adversity can be used as a catalyst for change.
Yeah.
Instead of letting it break her, she turned it into a platform and advocated for something she really believed in.
Right.
With such grace and courage.
Yeah.
I mean, the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Speaking of overcoming seemingly impossible odds, let's talk about Stephen Hawking.
Okay.
Diagnosed with ALS at 21, given a limited lifespan.
Right.
He went on to become one of the most renowned physicists of our time.
His story is just beautiful.
Yeah.
An example of how the human mind can transcend physical limitations. And he wasn't just content with surviving.
Right.
He was driven to explore the universe, unlock its secrets and share that knowledge with the world.
And he did it all while writing A Brief History of Time,
Right.
which became a bestseller.
I mean,
He didn't let his condition stop him from pursuing his passion, from making these groundbreaking discoveries,
right.
and even engaging with popular culture.
He used technology to communicate, to write, to connect with the world. It wasn't easy, but his determination was unwavering.
Right.
It makes you wonder, what could we achieve if we had even a fraction of that focus and determination?
Yeah, that's a powerful thought.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears a little bit to Bethany Hamilton,
Okay.
a surfer who lost her arm in a shark attack at 13.
Oh, gosh.
The trauma of that experience alone would be enough to keep most people out of the water forever.
I know. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and yet Bethany was back on her surfboard within weeks.
Wow.
Not just surfing, but eventually competing professionally.
Yeah, that's incredible.
The physical and mental resilience that must have taken.
She had to completely relearn how to balance, paddle, and ride the waves.
It's just a powerful testament to the human spirit's ability to adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about getting back on the board, but it was about reclaiming her passion,
Right.
proving to herself and the world that she wouldn't let fear define her.
Exactly. And she didn't stop there.
No.
She became an advocate for shark conservation,
Yeah.
using her platform to raise awareness and promote understanding.
Wow.
She turned a terrifying experience into a force for positive change.
It's almost like she took back control of the narrative, right?
Yes.
Refusing to let the shark attack be the defining moment of her life.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now for a story of a different kind of resilience.
Okay.
Let's look at J.K. Rowling.
Okay.
She went from being a struggling single mother facing poverty and depression
Wow.
to creating the magical world of Harry Potter.
Yeah, her story is a classic example of perseverance.
Right.
Think about all the rejections she must have faced from publishers before finding success.
Yeah.
Did she have any particular writing habits or techniques that helped her overcome those setbacks?
You know, I've read that she had a very disciplined writing routine, even in the midst of her struggles.
Wow.
She would carve out time each day to write,
Okay.
even if it was just for a short period.
Wow.
She made it a priority, a non-negotiable part of her life.
That's so insightful because it shows how important discipline and consistent effort is.
Yeah,
Even when facing adversity.
right.
It wasn't just luck. It was years of hard work, dedication, and a belief in her story,
Yeah,
even when others didn't see it.
and that belief eventually paid off,
Right.
transforming her life and inspiring millions of readers worldwide.
I mean, talk about resilience.
Yeah, it's a reminder that sometimes the greatest success stories
Okay.
are born out of the toughest challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's talk about someone who literally defied physical limitation
Okay.
to achieve athletic greatness. Wilma Rudolph.
Wilma Rudolph.
She overcame childhood polio to become an Olympic champion,
Yeah.
winning 3 gold medals in track and field. I mean,
How is that even possible?
I know.
Right? Well, it wasn't easy.
Uh-huh.
Wilma wore leg braces for years
Wow.
and had to undergo extensive physical therapy,
I can only imagine.
but she was determined to walk, to run, to compete.
Wow.
She turned her perceived weakness into her greatest strength.
That's incredible. Think about the dedication and the mental fortitude that must have taken.
Yeah,
You know, she could have easily accepted her limitations,
right.
but she chose to push beyond them to prove that anything was possible.
And she did.
And she did it with grace and speed,
Yeah.
becoming a symbol of athletic achievement and inspiring others to overcome their own obstacles.
Her story really highlights the transformative power of sport.
Right.
Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well.
Yeah,
It wasn't just about winning medals. She redefined what was possible for herself and others
exactly.
facing similar challenges.
Oh,
Okay, now let's move on to someone who became a cultural icon
okay.
and a force for good, Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah's story is a powerful reminder that our past does not have to dictate our future.
Right.
She overcame a childhood marked by poverty, abuse, and neglect
Wow.
to become a media mogul and philanthropist,
Yeah.
using her platform to empower others and advocate for important social causes.
Yeah, it's a truly remarkable journey.
It really is.
It's a classic rags to riches story,
Uh-huh.
but what makes it even more compelling is that she didn't just achieve success. She used it to uplift others.
Right.
She shared her own vulnerabilities, connected with her audience on a deeply personal level, and created a space for open dialogue and positive change.
It's a beautiful example of turning pain into purpose.
Right.
You know, she didn't shy away from her past.
No.
She embraced it and used it to fuel her mission to empower others to overcome their own challenges.
Yeah, and that resonated with millions of viewers,
Right.
making her a cultural phenomenon.
Exactly.
Her story speaks to the possibility of transformation,
Right.
of taking our experiences, no matter how difficult,
Mm-hmm.
and using them to create something meaningful and impactful.
And finding that inner strength
Right?
and channeling it into something positive.
Now, for a story of resilience on a grand scale, let's turn to Nelson Mandela.
Okay.
Imprisoned for 27 years for his activism against apartheid in South Africa. Imagine the strength it took to not only endure such injustice,
Right.
but to emerge as a symbol of reconciliation and forgiveness.
I know, it's mind-boggling.
It really is.
Mandela's story challenges us to consider our own capacity for forgiveness.
Yeah.
And understanding, you know, after decades of imprisonment, he could have easily been consumed by bitterness and anger.
Right.
Instead, he chose a path of peace and reconciliation,
Wow.
working to dismantle apartheid and create a more just and equitable South Africa.
It's such a stark contrast to those who perpetuate cycles of hate and revenge.
Right?
Mandela's story shows us that a better world is possible even after unimaginable suffering.
Yeah.
It's about choosing hope over despair, love over hate,
Yeah.
and ultimately building bridges instead of walls.
It's a powerful testament to the human capacity for transformation
Yeah.
and the enduring belief in the possibility of a better future.
Now, from political activism to the world of comedy, we have Jim Carrey,
Okay.
known for his wacky humor.
Right.
But his story reveals a deeper struggle. Overcoming a difficult childhood and financial struggles, to achieve success,
Yeah.
all while battling depression.
You know, it's a reminder that even those who appear to have it all can face internal demons.
Yeah, and what's truly admirable about Carey is his willingness to be vulnerable,
Right.
to openly discuss his mental health challenges.
Uh-huh.
It breaks down the stigma surrounding mental health, encourages others to seek help,
Right.
and shows that success doesn't equate to inner peace.
It's a powerful message because it normalizes the conversation around mental health,
Right.
showing that it's okay to not be okay,
Yeah.
and that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness.
Right. It humanizes celebrities,
Yeah.
reminding us that they too are vulnerable and face real-life struggle.
Exactly. And lastly, we have Temple Grandin,
Okay.
a woman who defied the limitations often associated with autism
Right.
to become a leading expert in animal behavior and welfare.
Diagnosed at a young age, she didn't just adapt to the world,
Right.
she reshaped it
Wow.
to better understand the experiences of others like her.
It's incredible.
It's incredible how she turned what some might perceive as a limitation into a unique strength and insight.
Grandin's story is a testament to the power of neurodiversity
Yeah.
and the contributions that individuals with different ways of thinking can bring to the table.
Right.
Her understanding of animal behavior, shaped by her own sensory experiences, led to groundbreaking innovations in livestock handling,
Wow.
improving the well-being of countless animals.
It's a reminder that we all have unique gifts and perspectives to offer.
Right.
And sometimes what makes us different can also be our greatest asset.
Exactly.
So there you have it.
10
10 individuals who took on enormous challenges and not only survived, but thrived.
It's like looking at a tapestry of the human spirit woven with threads of resilience, determination, and a refusal to be defined by circumstance.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
it really is.
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it? It feels like even though these are stories about extraordinary people, there's threads that connect to our own lives.
I think that's the beauty of studying resilience.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's facing a health issue or a financial setback, or even just like the everyday anxieties of life,
Right.
these stories offer kind of a blueprint
Yeah.
for how to navigate those challenges.
So if we're looking at this blueprint, then what are some key takeaways for us? Like, what can we actually learn and apply?
Well, one of the most striking commonalities is their mindset.
Right.
You know, they didn't dwell on what they couldn't do.
Right.
They focused on possibilities, they adapted their approaches, and they redefined what success looked like for them.
It's like Nick Vujicic modifying that surfboard.
Right.
It wasn't the ideal way to surf, but it was his way.
Exactly.
And he rocked it.
Yeah, he did.
Do you think that's something we can all cultivate?
I think so.
That focus on how can I instead of I can't.
Absolutely. It's a conscious choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
To train our minds to look for solutions,
Oh,
to reframe challenges as opportunities for growth.
Yeah, I'm also struck by how many of these individuals had a driving passion,
Yes.
a why that kept them going even when things got tough.
Think about Malala's unwavering belief in education,
Right.
or Bethany Hamilton's love for surfing. You know, that sense of purpose fuels resilience. It
Yeah.
gives you something to fight for, something bigger than yourself.
It's like having that North Star to
Oh.
guide you.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the role of support systems?
Oh, that's huge.
I mean, none of these people were islands, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
They had families, mentors, communities who rallied behind them.
Yeah.
And sometimes that support came from unexpected places,
Yeah.
like the global outpouring of love for Malala after the attack.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It makes you realize that asking for help, building a network of support,
Right.
that's not a weakness. It's actually a smart strategy
Right.
for resilience.
Couldn't agree more. Now, here's another fascinating aspect. A lot of these individuals turned their adversity into a platform for advocacy.
Yes, it's like they took their pain and transformed it into a force for good.
Exactly.
Nick Vujicic sharing his message of hope.
Right.
Oprah creating a space for important conversations. Temple Grandin advocating for neurodiversity.
It's about finding meaning in the struggle, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Using your experience to help others, to raise awareness, to fight for a better world.
It's like they're saying, hey, this happened to me and it was tough, but here's what I learned.
Exactly.
Maybe it can help you too.
It's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
It turns a personal story into a shared experience, a source of strength and connection for others facing similar challenges.
So we've talked about mindset, purpose, support, advocacy. Anything else that we can glean from these stories?
Well, it's important to remember that resilience isn't about never feeling pain or doubt.
Okay.
These individuals faced immense challenges. I'm sure there were moments when they questioned everything.
So it's not about being superhuman.
Not at all. It's about acknowledging the struggle,
Yeah.
allowing yourself to feel the emotions, but then finding a way to keep moving forward.
Oh,
And that strength can come from different places: faith, family, a deep-seated belief in oneself, even stubbornness.
So it's about recognizing those setbacks as part of the journey, but not letting them define the whole story.
Precisely. And that's such an important message, especially today,
Right.
when we're bombarded with images of perfection.
Yeah.
It's easy to feel inadequate, like we're not doing enough, not being enough.
But these stories remind us that behind every seemingly perfect life,
Right.
there are struggles, setbacks, doubts.
Yeah, it's part of the human experience.
Right.
And it's in those moments of struggle that we have the opportunity to tap into our deepest reserves of strength and resilience.
Okay.
We can choose to let adversity break us, or we can choose to rise above it, stronger and wiser for having gone through it.
It's like that Japanese art of kintsugi, right?
Yes.
Where they repair broken pottery with gold, making it even more beautiful. I love that.
Because of the cracks, those imperfections become part of the story, part of the beauty.
What a beautiful analogy.
Right.
It's a reminder that our struggles, our scars, they don't diminish our worth. They become part of who we are.
Yeah.
They tell a story of resilience, of overcoming, of becoming whole again.
So as we wrap up this exploration of resilience, I'd love to shift the focus to you, the listener.
Okay.
We've heard these incredible stories, but what about your own? What personal challenges have you faced, and what did you learn from them? Think about those moments where you had to dig deep, where you found a strength you didn't know you had.
Yeah.
What did those experiences teach you about yourself?
I think we all have those moments, right?
Yeah.
The times when we're pushed to our limits and we surprise ourselves with our ability to adapt, to overcome, to rise above those challenges.
Yeah.
Sharing those stories can be incredibly powerful, both for ourselves and for others who might be going through something similar.
It's like that saying, your mess can be your message.
Oh, I love that. Sometimes the most powerful lessons come from our own struggles.
Absolutely. And by sharing those experiences, we normalize the ups and downs of life.
Right.
We remind each other that it's okay to not have it all figured out, that setbacks are part of the journey, and that it's how we respond to those setbacks that truly matters.
It's about creating a sense of shared humanity, right? We're all in this together, navigating the twists and turns of life.
Yeah.
Doing the best we can with what we've got.
Yeah.
And sometimes just knowing that we're not alone in our struggles can make all the difference.
Absolutely. It's like creating a web of support where we can share our stories, offer encouragement, and inspire each other to keep going, even when things get tough.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into resilience, I want you to walk away with this. You are stronger than you think. You have the capacity to overcome challenges, to adapt, to grow, and to create a meaningful life, even in the face of adversity.
And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Reach out to your support system, share your story, and find inspiration in the stories of others who have walked a similar path.
Maybe your story will be the one that inspires someone else to keep going, to believe in themselves, to create their own beautiful kintsugi masterpiece. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into resilience. Until next time, keep striving, keep growing, and keep believing in the power of the human spirit.
Thank you for tuning into today's episode of English Every Day. We hope you found the tips and discussions valuable as you continue to improve your English skills. Don't forget to subscribe for more content and keep practicing every day. The more you engage, the better you'll get. Until next time, stay motivated and keep learning. See you in the next episode.